car if you're driving yourself. And
Sure. So can I
because
have
you
the
don't
keys?
have a driver, an extra driver, well, this is what I'm taking. So you take
Are
the
we
Lexus.
rolling? Yes, we are rolling. this is on camera, by the way. Now, we really love sedans made by BMW because they're one of the sportiest options that you can buy. With the new 3 Series Gran Limousine though, what BMW is trying to do is bring a dash of luxury and comfort to this sporty package. Now, if only there was a car known for luxury and comfort brought here by someone who loves to create crash videos.
Well, yes, it all does look well and good for the BMW 3 Series Gran Limousine being a long wheelbase luxury sedan. But when it comes to space, comfort, luxury, and prestige, I don't think it's quite in the same league as this one, because this is the Lexus ES 300h.
Well, I will have to sort of disagree because I think this one punches above its weight into a different segment where this has been sitting pretty for a while. With cars like this, I think there's only one way to settle this conversation. Let's go for a drive. Well, Shivank, here we are.
Yes.
Starting off with the Lexus as you wanted. And for some reason, you wanted me to start from the back. Why is that?
I think this definitely is more luxurious. Don't you feel that?
I don't know about luxurious. What I know for sure, my first impression is that there is a lot more space on offer. I'm 5'10" and I can easily stretch out and have a comfortable seating experience. What I also like are these blinds everywhere, although they are manual. And buttons. There are buttons over here at the center console as well. I would say it's quite comfortable, to be honest.
And yeah, and the best part is, at the back, the seats, they cocoon you. Don't you feel that in the BMW, the seats are great, but I don't think they're as, again, opulent or as special as this car.
Yeah, I mean, it feels wider more than anything and that adds to the sense of space. I've even got nice armrest storage compartment spaces here.
And what do you think about the ride quality and the general refinement and comfort and everything that matters?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite comfortable here. I'm not feeling a lot of bumps. I would say if it was just a rear seat experience, I think if it was that only was the deciding factor, I think the Lexus definitely scores higher. Although I'm not a fan of this all black theme that's going on, even though there are some wooden finish inserts, but I would have wanted a bit of a lighter cabin. Also a sunroof would have been nice.
But yeah, it has a sunroof, but yeah, it's not panoramic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if it's meant for rear seat passengers, sunroof at the back would have been nice. But all in all, not bad. It's quite impressive.
And you know what? Even at the front, even if you drive it, it's not that bad. It has got a hybrid.
How would I know?
I mean, yeah, you can come and swap seats.
Okay.
But yeah, what I'm saying is, even in terms of performance, yes, it is a heavy car, but it has got a lot of power. It has got a hybrid powertrain.
Right.
So it starts off in EV mode. So when you're driving in the city, I think you feel very comfy even if you're sitting at the back because it's so refined and it's also quite efficient. But when you're on the highway or you need more power, the petrol motor kicks in, and then of course it has a lot of power, but of course it doesn't have the grunt and get up and go attitude of the BMW. But I think even at the front it's not that bad. I think the only slight problem with this car is that because in EV mode it's so refined, so when the petrol motor kicks in, you definitely do hear that noise. It's quite vocal in the sense the CVT transmission and the petrol engine. So that's when if your driver is a bit unruly like me, yeah, you're going to feel it. If your driver wants a quick overtake, so you're going to feel that. But if I maintain this steady cruise, it just floats, it just glides along.
Yeah. And the voice isolation is also quite good at the back here.
Yeah,
I'm not really hearing anything at all. Bit of tire noise but that's only natural that will creep in. But other than that, it's a quiet experience.
Yeah, and I think I'd want you to drive this car as well, and then we can also discuss about the interior, the front experience if you're going to drive this car. I really love the music system. It has got a Mark Levinson music system, absolute best I think in the segment. But yeah, the GL is not in the same segment. But come, let's swap seats and find out.
Finally.
Yeah, how do you feel how it drives?
All right, the swap has happened. I'm here at the front seat. Shivank's gone at the back. Shivank, first impressions, quickly.
Well, yes, of course, it's very spacious, and like I said, the space is quite awesome here. And it has got a lot of buttons, which I don't quite like, because in this day and age of touch screens, I think there are a lot of buttons. You can change track. I think that's what. But it has got ventilated seats actually, and it's also got a recliner. Wow, that's nice.
Yep, and that's what I wanted to point out. Buttons. There are so many buttons here. And interestingly though, what I would say, because a lot of people would immediately point out that there are a lot of buttons on this car, but what the Lexus designers have done is that they have not really compromised on anything. So you've got 3-stage cooling, 3-stage heating, you've got compartment spaces, you've got wooden inserts, a pop-out cup holder, you've got underarm storage which opens up from both sides, you've got wireless charging, you've got cruise control, digital displays, you've got a big screen, you've got what is essentially
and
required
the attention
in a modern
to detail
car.
is great. You look at that watch; it looks so classy, right? Like we've been
big fan.
discussing.
Yeah.
Plus, look at those modes, the knobs on the dash on top of it. They also look brilliant.
Yeah,
So
very
I think
fighter
these are
jet-like.
Very smart touches.
Yeah.
When you're driving the car, it may not be as inspiring to drive as the BMW, but these touches, well, like I said, it does make you feel special.
Yep. And what I like here is that the all black theme is a bit toned down because we've got a lot of these wooden inserts everywhere. And yeah, we just went through a pothole. It's a good car to be seated in for sure. Very interestingly, what I just saw is a CD changer, and that really shows how much the Lexus is in a need of getting updated. I mean, a CD changer today, and you've got dedicated buttons to change track and things like that.
But
I
yes,
mean,
it does feel a little outdated in terms of the tech. But yeah, the screen is nice.
The screen is nice. That's the contradicting bit, right? I mean, you've got a CD player, so you're expecting it to be a laggy, old age UI, but it's very crisp. It works very well. You've got this trackpad to use. You've got dials. It does the job, but for some reason, it's paired with a CD changer. I mean, I think that really sums up the
like I
Lexus
said,
well.
I love the music system. The audio quality is awesome, and of course I'm sitting at the back, so I don't care about the buttons or the CD changer. I bought this car because I love
you bought it,
right?
yes.
It's a luxury car, and I also think it looks more special even from the outside. It has got that typical sharp Lexus look now, that spindle grille and all that, all the chrome and all the bling. So if you take it to a 5-star hotel, I'm sure this is going to get more attention than the 3 Series. Of course, the BMW has the brand name, but I think this definitely feels a lot more. I think
the road
stately.
presence.
Yeah, the road presence, and it feels like an expensive car.
Just to throw a situation, just to make your brain think. Imagine this getting the update that it needs, getting a fewer lesser buttons, getting a screen is big enough, but getting a modern layout. It would be really hard to fault this car, right?
Exactly. I think right now it feels like it's for someone who's old or who's looking for comfort and space and peace of mind, which is something that I think people our age can't relate to that. But
I mean, because we are young and we have a while.
You've made enough money, and that's when you're going to spend that sort of investment in a car of this size. Well, it's for that person.
With that, we're gonna have a change of scenery. I think let's hop on to the car that actually feels like it belongs to today and is the newer one amongst the lot. Let's hop into the 3 Series Gran Limousine. All right, the swap has happened. Shivank, how does it feel to be back in 2023?
Well, yes, of course, the world post COVID-19 pandemic, of course, there are a lot of compromise to be made.
Yeah.
And I can see that because the seat is okay, there's a lot of space. It's a long wheelbase car, but the seat squab is actually quite thin and it feels, I mean, it's not as plush or comfy as the Lexus, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the.
Wait, oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you over the performance of
course.
the 340. Could you do that in the Lexus?
Of course, you can't do that, but I was more
okay.
comfortable.
Oh, no,
right? So when you pay this kind of money, you don't want to do that. It's all about.
Maybe you do. That's the point, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly. But the it's the 3 Series that's meant to do those things. There's the Gran Limousine, supposed to be a more sedate and more luxurious, more comfy version.
So
Yep.
being a limousine, having limousine in its name, at the back, out of 10, how much would you rate the Lexus? How much would you rate this?
Well, if you talk about the segment, I'll give the Lexus a solid 9. And I think even this, considering it's a 3 Series, I'd still give it probably around 7.5. I'm not sure if I can give it an 8, but yeah. See, the only thing is it doesn't have a lot of toys, or it doesn't have any buttons or gadgets. It doesn't have ventilated seats.
Yes, and coming from Lexus.
Yeah, of course. And
The
it
button
doesn't have those
deficiency.
reclining seats. It is
Yeah,
spacious. The interior
true.
definitely feels more alive in the sense, the upholstery, the walnut brown upholstery, and everything, the ambient lighting, everything feels modern. Of course, I'll give it to BMW. They have done a very good job on that front. Plus, I also think because it has that panoramic sunroof, the sense of space, it feels airy here. And in that regard, of course, it feels like a luxury car, and they've properly done it. The quality also, I think the plastics and everything, the touch and feel of everything feels a smidgen better than the Lexus here, the plastics and everything. So yeah, it definitely feels like a luxury car.
Shivank, last time when we were going through here, I was seated at the back of the Lexus. I did not realize that the road was this bad.
In fact, even in this car, I didn't realize it because, they have softened the suspension.
Yep.
Even in the Gran Limousine compared to the 3 Series. So it definitely feels plush at low speeds. When you're driving at really low speeds over those big bumps, definitely there is that thud that filters into the cabin. So I think it's not as polished as the Lexus low speed ride. But when you're on the go right now, it feels almost as good. And it's also quite refined. The engine, even though it's not a hybrid or anything, the petrol engine is so refined, I can't hear anything.
Whatever you've just observed is absolutely on point, and I don't disagree with anything. It's just one of the things that I would again like to share. You're seated at the back, so I'm looking at you through the rear view mirror, and you feel just so much more closer now. And in the Lexus, it just felt like you were much far off. So I think despite this being modern, in terms of sheer presence and having that feeling of driving a bigger car, that was much higher in the Lexus. But then again, you can't go sideways. And when you want to have that sporty experience, you want to have a smaller car that sort of wraps around you, and you have a good feedback coming from every element. That's also the other thing I wanted to talk about, the steering feedback and how the suspension and the chassis, everything is relaying all the information back to the driver. This, as a result, feels a lot more lively to drive.
But yes, I haven't gotten behind the wheel of that car, so
So how about we fix that?
Yeah.
Let's swap seats and get you to experience it, share your opinions, and then maybe we can get together alongside both the cars and decide who would be our choice. All right, we just sat in the 3 Series.
I can definitely feel the difference, especially from this seat.
Yeah, so can I. I just sat, I couldn't even finish my sentence,
Yeah.
and he floored it. But I mean, yes, that's the whole idea, right? The moment you sit here, the car eggs you on, like, go for it. That's the BMW experience.
Yeah, I mean, and that, especially if you're a keen driver, so you'll absolutely love this car because it feels very light, first of all. The steering is very communicative. So in the Lexus, when you're taking a corner at high speed, I'm not even saying that, you have to absolutely go for it. You heard that? That
Yes.
was a loud thud, right? That's what I was talking about. So in the Lexus, we didn't feel it.
Yeah.
But okay, coming back
We
to...
weren't going this fast.
Yeah, exactly. That's also one of the reasons, true. But coming back to the drive experience, well, yes, this feels very light. It feels very agile. And the Lexus, it feels quite heavy if you are turning it at high speeds. There is that sort of weight and it's front wheel drive. So it can never be as playful as this car, definitely.
But as much as I am a fan of minimalism, and that is something that's very apparent you get into this car, I think BMW went a step too far because you don't even have a gear lever. And I mean, it's there, it's 1 inch tall. And even if I wrap my head around the fact that they are trying to open up space and all of that stuff, as big as a fan I am of minimalism, you don't even have a manual mode. Yes, you have paddle shifters. You can manually upshift and downshift, but it won't hold on. So if you want a truly manual control over the gearbox, even with all the performance that the car has, you don't have the choice, because in the earlier BMWs, you would just knock the gear lever to the left and have that option. And I think that is something that I miss.
Yeah, the Lexus has it has that electric and hybrid mode, and the brakes are very wooden on the Lexus. So this thing, well, yeah, to drive it feels fantastic, and the pedal feel is also quite awesome.
Yep, and now that you're taking a U-turn, you'll notice the size. And this is the wrapping around you part that I was talking about.
Plus, yeah, being pushed from the back also adds to the whole thing.
Getting that jolt in your neck. These are experiences, right? I mean, you really have to figure out whether this experience is something you relate to. And I think that will be, and how hard do you relate to that and how badly do you want it, will be a big indicator of which camp do you lie in.
Again, coming back to the same old philosophy of BMW, getting new things, more advanced things. So this touchscreen setup, that's been lifted directly from the iX and the i4. So in that regard, it definitely feels more modern, and it's cutting edge. The response from the system, everything in this car, it definitely feels more modern. So if you are someone young at heart, even if you're old, with money, but if you're young at heart, you enjoy driving still, and you're in tune with the times, in the sense you want your car to be updated like all your gadgets, I think the BMW, then it has the space of a luxury sedan, and it has got all the modern bells and whistles. So I think that's where BMW clicks, even if you can be a fan of the Lexus in terms of space and comfort. But I don't know why I'm pitching for BMW, probably because
it has happened. The conversion has happened.
Yeah, I think because
all it took was to make you sit here.
Yeah, because I'm behind the wheel, so I think when I was sitting in the Lexus, I thought it was a better car. But of course, the BMW has its appeal.
Yes.
But again, we are not talking.
And when I was sitting at the back of the Lexus, I was rooting for it.
Exactly.
Different seat experiences, yeah. And I think both of us have sort of understood these cars better.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is get to the Lexus.
Yeah.
Let's see both of these cars together. Wrap our heads around what we've just experienced over the past while, and let's see which one would be a winner. Let's do it on the spot.
Yeah. Let's pick a winner.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of our drive.
Yes, we have.
Well, Shivank, after all that discussion and all that driving, what are your takeaway thoughts?
Well, of course, the 3GL is great to drive, and I still think if you want the best of both worlds, this is sort of it. But if you want a luxury sedan, I still think the Lexus makes more sense. It looks more stately. It is a hybrid. And in terms of luxury, I think the way it makes you feel, it definitely feels more special than the BMW, especially from the inside.
Well, that's where I agree and disagree. I agree with what your takeaway of the Lexus is. It definitely is the one for those who like to be driven around. It has that estate feel, as you mentioned. But I also disagree on the definition of special, because I think when you get to drive the expensive car that you just purchased and drive it the way this can drive, that is when you really feel special.
But I still think it is a little compromised even as a driving machine. So for me, it doesn't quite do as well. I mean, it's neither here nor there for me. So I think I'd probably stick with the Lexus still.
All right. So, two people, two ways of looking at things. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know how you found this video down in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Show them all our discussion about these cars and coming back to the same place where we started from.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you very much. Okay then.
Cool.
I'll see you
tomorrow.
All right. Can I have the keys to the...
Well, no, I just told you, right?
No, this is the driver's car, right? So
This is the driver's car and only two of us
Lexus
are
is the
here.
winner, right?
But there's no driver, right?
So just take
That's
the
a
Lexus.
great car if you want to be chauffeured
So just
around.
take the Lexus, no?
But this is a great car if you're driving yourself. And
Sure. So can I
because
have
you
the
don't have
keys?
a driver, an extra driver, well, this is what I'm taking. So you take
Are
the
we
Lexus.
rolling? Yes, we are rolling. this is on camera, by the way. Well, that's the difference between those who like to drive themselves around. And I'm going to go figure out if someone can drive me around. Thank you very much.